Greetings. I hope you and yours are doing well today, wherever you might be listening to this from. And I hope the New Year's is treating you well also. Now, before I start this video, I want to say that anything said in this video or any of my videos do not represent any Grand Lodge statements or opinions. This is of my own personal expression as a free man and as a free thinker, in which I have the right to do so. Now, the title of this video is that pride, ego, arrogance is not allowed in Freemasonry. Freemasonry is about love for humanity and uplifting the fallen state of humanity. Now, I was inspired to make this video because I recently spoke to my best friend who's a two-time past master. He wishes to remain anonymous, and I have to respect that. But at the same time, I have to address all the concerns that I have seen myself and others have seen that go against the tenets of the brotherhood. So the way I see it is that when you become a brother, you promise yourself to respect everybody, regardless of their race, their religion, their socioeconomic status, whatever they are, whatever they might be. Our job is not to judge. Our job is to love and to heal and to be an effective source of healing for the community. Now, the way I see it, like with the brotherhood existing, why is this country in the shape that it is today with the U.S., for example? Why are young people so depressed? Why don't they have a purpose? Why is society going wayside? What is our excuse as Masons for our organization to exist and the country to be in the state that it is in, morally, physically, and spiritually? And I believe we need to get off that high horse of arrogance and start being effective in your communities. We need to. So, stop worrying about having a 32 or a PM or a 33 next to your name. I never cared for that stuff because my supreme grand master is Almighty God. That's who I answer to, and that's whose approval I need. And I believe that we need to start really being Freemasons and free thinkers and really freely expressing ourselves in what we do and how we want to do it, right? So we need to stop this little internal warfare that's going on, stop the infighting. Like I see it on these groups on Facebook where one brother might be happy about posting something and this other guy is going to drag him through the mud and say all types of stuff to him and berate him. Why? That's your brother. Would you talk like that to somebody that you're related to by blood and talk to them like that on an open forum? Our relationship might not be blood, but our spiritual link is equivalent to that. And I'm speaking from the heart right to you, to your face. No script, no nothing, because these things need to be addressed. Stop calling somebody a brother in lodge and then going online and posting derogatory stuff towards their race or their religion or anything of the sort that might hurt their feeling. Because that's basically you standing out in the public. And let's say it's two Masons standing out in the public and everybody can see what you're doing and what you're saying, like on social media, and you choose to disrespect him. Now, how does that make you look, right? And how does your brotherhood look to the profane world that doesn't know anything about you, but then you're just confirming all the misinformation that they've seen on the internet for years? So be the better example. You're only in lodge, like 1 or 2 nights a month? Or maybe a little extra night, maybe 3 nights a month if you're active. But 90% of your time is spent in your communities, in your job, at your home, your neighbors, your personal life, with your friends outside. And you have to represent your character in a good way. Because that square and compass is not to be taken as a joke, but I guess with the issue of pride is, some people think that makes them better than other people. No. You wearing a square and compass ring or a hat or a shirt or anything like that does not make you better than anybody else. It's about the kind of heart you possess and the love you have for your fellow man that really makes you stand out. And same thing, with the lodge system, right? Everybody's an authoritarian in there. You have these past masters in there that just can't seem to let it go, and they don't want to let these young guys come in and make the changes that they need to make. And you know that mentality of we always done it this way. Freemasonry is a beautiful and a very beautiful moral science, and it's a way of life, and it's a work in progress. So if you keep saying, okay, I just laid this one stone and I want to keep it that way because that's the way I like it, and I don't want these guys, new guys, coming in here and building more stones on top of it because I always done it that way, then those people are part of the problem and why the brotherhood is declining. And that's the reason why even after I had left, I came back. And my mentality is like, you know what? I'm part of this next generation. It's going to be people that, my age. I joined at age 23, now 27. And it's going to be people like me that are going to be in charge like around the 2033 or 2040s era. So we have to be able to make sure that we take this brotherhood into the next generation. And I guess just act like, have some decency, right? Like, especially on the public forums, and just have the common sense knowing that, okay, every jurisdiction does things in their own way. So if somebody's posting something dressed in a certain way and you don't dress like that in your place, or if they're saying something that it doesn't go on in your place, just let it go, right? Focus on the universal brotherhood and what unites us. Where else in the world do you see this where we can all come together and love one another, regardless of race, religion, socioeconomic status, where you come from? We're all equal and we're all on the level, right? And we should act like such, because I make this stuff because I care. I love my brothers, I love the brotherhood, and I'm going to fight for its future. And I'm not going to let anybody run me out because they want to maintain their control and they fear my light and what I have to offer to the world. So, I would encourage all of you, and even those that are not Masons that might be watching my video, I want to tell you that this is a beautiful organization, and their job is to uplift fallen humanity. It's nothing more than that. And anyone you see that might be wearing a square and compass, but they're acting prideful, arrogant, and egotistical, just know that you have good and bad in each group. And I just want you to know that our way of life is to be good to all in all the ways that we can, whenever we can. And that's just the way that we are, right? So, I would tell you all that just please be good to yourself, be good to others, and this life is short. A lot of these guys that might have a RW next to their names, or 32 or 33 or PM, what good is that going to do you if your eyes don't wake up in the morning? Now I'm looking you in the eye and I'm asking you this question. What good is that going to do you? And what good is your ego going to do you if your eyes don't wake up in the morning? Right? All that is gone. It's only for this life. So, let the people be. Let them enjoy their version of Freemasonry the way they want it to. Stop clamping down on everybody, because that's not what free men do to other free men, right? We're allowed to be loving and accepting of all mankind. And anybody that goes against that, I don't consider them to be true Masons. And I've put myself out there many times with my articles. I put my neck on the line several times, because why? I care about this brotherhood and I care about its future. Right? And I encourage those that might be critics or anything else that, you know what, if you have the solutions, I encourage you to put yourself out there too. Make videos, write articles, do all those things, and put yourself out there if you have the solutions to the problem. But the thing is that we need to eliminate that attitude where if somebody's speaking the truth, or if they're doing what's right for everybody, we shun them and we turn our backs to them. That's not true brothers. Right? In a time of need, you're supposed to all be with each other, right? And you're supposed to morally support each other through all the dark times of a brother's life, right? And we have all these scriptures, all the holy books you read, all of the scriptures, there's verses from all over, where I guess you have in the book of Proverbs in the Bible, iron sharpens iron and one man sharpens another, something like that. And then in the Holy Quran, you have the same thing, where the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Holy Quran, it tells us that humanity is a single brotherhood. Make peace with your brothers, uplift your brothers. You're not supposed to be mad at your brothers for more than 3 days, or you're not considered a part of the faith anymore. So we got to put these issues in the back, right? Because look at Freemasonry. How was it before this whole so-called Grand Lodge hierarchies existed before 1717, right? Everybody was truly free. And you cannot be truly free and a free man and a free thinker unless you break free from those shackles where you can't do nothing unless you get approval, or unless somebody has to tell you what to do, or something of that sort. Or it's like you get these young guys that come into the lodges, they become masters, and they can't do anything unless the older past masters agree with them. I think that's wrong. And those guys are a part of the problem, and why some of these younger guys never show up after they see that, you know what, this is just like a corporatized authoritarian hierarchy, just like we see out in the world. So what good are they offering me? Because a lot of these young guys, I'm one of them, our tolerance for anything that goes against our investment of time, resources, and energy, if we see anything that goes against that, then we're the ones that are quickly to either call it out, or we make a U-turn and we go the other way. So I would say that we need to really look ourselves in the mirror and say that, okay, there's an opioid epidemic in America. There's so much depression, suicide, obesity, the lack of relationships. People are not getting married. They don't have the same respect and morals at the time that our parents and grandparents did. So what is the purpose of our organization? If our organization's purpose is to uplift fallen humanity, then what are we doing for the community? Are any of your lodges doing anything for the community? Are you involved in your community? Have you set up a table at your local high school or at your local college and talk to people and tell them what you do to help people and how you can help them? So if you're not doing any of that, then what is it that you're really doing, right? Those business meetings and stuff, where as long as you do what you need to do and then the guys at the top are getting what they need to get done, nobody cares. They'll walk right past a homeless person outside on the street and won't even offer them a meal or anything of that sort. Happens, right? Where you could it might be walking outside with their suits on, walking right past a barrage of homeless people, and you just preached all those values of brotherhood, uplifting humanity, and doing what you need to do, but you see somebody in a state of helplessness and you'll walk right past them. Even if it's one of your own brothers, you turn your back on them. No. That's the culture we have to destroy, because everybody's worried about protecting their own titles and their positions of power. And see, to be an actual true Freemason, you got to put it all on the line, and you got to risk it all for a vision nobody can see but you. I've been through there. I'm still here, standing on my feet. And those that doubted me and those that try to run me out, like, what did they accomplish? They're still there, protecting their titles and looking down on others. That ego doesn't help anybody. The past masters, or 33 or 32, whoever you are, you gotta let people be. Let Masons be Masons. Let brothers be brothers. Let them be the change that they wish to create in the world without telling them what to do. Put your ego on the side and be about helping others, right? Isn't that what it's about? A brotherhood that you think about others before you think about yourself. And being a Mason, yeah, it makes you a better man, but it doesn't mean that your value and your worth of life is better than your neighbor next to you that might not be a Mason. So, this is according to that poster that I saw. It says that being a Mason makes you a better man, and yes, it does, or something like that. Or it makes you better than others. I think it was something of that sort, that it makes you better than others. No, it doesn't. If you're not going to follow its teachings and tenets, and you're just like doing it for the pictures and the rings and the license plate and all that stuff, then you're doing it wrong. It's about you putting others before yourself, standing up for what's right, resistance against the wicked, and honoring God, honoring your fellow man, your neighbors, and just being a good human being in all the ways that you can. You can pay for all the degrees that you want, right? You can pay for all of them, but at the end, if you're not chipping away at that rough ashlar and at those stones to perfect yourself, then you're still an entered apprentice, regardless if you might have a PM or 33 next to your name. That's the way I see it. You can pay for all that stuff and do all that stuff, but if you're not really, if you know you have the power to do something about it, and you know something is going on where you know you can do something about it, but you choose to look the other way, there is a spiritual price to pay for all of our actions in this life and the next. And most people are just holding on to every single position and hierarchy, and they just can't seem to let others get ahead or help others. Why? Because they think that this life is it. So no, it's not. It's more to it than this. This is just a dream. We're just passing through as wanderers, and after this comes the other phase, and so on and so on. But you got to put the positive work in by being a good-hearted human being. Be clean from here. Be clean from your heart. Because if your heart is dirty and you think bad about others, and you just have this dirty look on your face because they see me, I might go somewhere, I might have a kufi on, then you know what? You're not representing the brotherhood, because the brotherhood comes from the pure Eastern philosophies. That's where it really comes from. Before everything got changed, where in the history books they're only telling you that the Greek philosophers founded everything, and everything was just anglicized to a certain extent, where if you're not recognized by them, then you're off to the side. But all these sects and these brotherhoods and these Eastern spiritual orders existed like way before all those times in the East. That's why they all flock to the East, because knowledge is in the East. So follow like you're really following it, right? It's like at the graduation robes, like at the high school and college. You see they wear them like the thopes and stuff, like the Muslims wear. They're like loose clothing. Why? Because those from the West would go there to the East, and when they had finished their studies there, that's how they would dress. So that's basically paying a tribute to that, to the Eastern knowledge, even though they might not teach you that, because they don't want to teach you anything in this system that gives credit to anybody in the East. So that's what I'm saying, that you got to love and respect everybody. I don't care what your race is, your religion, your socioeconomic status, where you come from, what you believe. All that is meaningless, because being true Masons is who we are and what we should be doing. And our job is to be the shepherds of our community, of our family, of our brothers, of our friends, and what good can we do for them in the world? And what excuse does our brotherhood have if the world is in the state that it is in today, and all the calamities that are going on? Just this country, for example, what are the youth going through? And why should we have any excuse that we're not doing nothing about it? Why? Because we're more worried about memorizing stuff and paying bills rather than true brotherhood, or exemplifying the tenets of that true brotherhood. So it's basically a corporate structure. It's become corporatized, because they just want to make sure that enough people are qualified so they can have enough people to run their lodge for next year, and then next year they're in the same circus, and so on and so on. There's no education. There's no knowledge. The younger people that join hungry for answers, yeah, they might come in, but they go away. So why aren't these higher-ups and all these campaigns that are going on trying to recruit people address these issues? Because if you want these younger people to come in, and I'm part of their generation, I would tell you that you have to be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. Because that's just like, if I see somebody with a suit that's coming to see me and he's trying to sell me Freemasonry, right? He's basically just selling it to me, right? What good is it going to do for me in my life? How's it going to improve my life? How's it going to make me a better person? And how's it going to make me make a difference in the world and help my neighbors and help my family? It's more to it than business meetings and arrogant past masters, or anybody that's acting arrogant online, or if they're acting unmasonically, disrespecting other people. Even if you point it out, nobody does anything about it. They're looking the other way because there's a hierarchy above them, and they're just about covering their own skin. So that's not the brotherhood. The brotherhood is about putting others before yourself. And real brothers put it all on the line just to make sure they see their brother happy. So I want you to think about these things that I'm telling you, because I'm a proud Freemason and I care about the future of this brotherhood. And I want you all to take this seriously, because now we're in the 2020s now, and our world is going into the next era. And I hope in my lifetime, if I'm given this privilege by Almighty God, that I have the privilege to see and handle this brotherhood into the next generation, where we teach the younger people that not all hope is lost. And our job is to uplift fallen humanity and tell them that, okay, drugs are not the answer, this way is not the answer, this way is not the answer. The real answer is you becoming a better person, improving on your flaws, your imperfections, chipping away at those rough stones of yours, becoming a better person through life's experience, and just do good, be the best that you can be, and exemplify those values to your children, to your family, to your friends, your family, and just so they can follow you. And we can only improve the world if the brothers in it and the people in it are better. So if we're not going to enforce that or exemplify that with the way that I see people acting in some of the lodges, or how they're acting on social media, or how they're acting in other places, or how it's just about like positions of power or having certain acronyms next to your name, then you're part of the problem, not the solution. Even those that said, okay, there's a silent majority, they're the good guys. But what does that make them if they're allowing these other guys if they're continuing to tolerate these other people without saying a word? Isn't that part of who you are and what you represent? So you need to sit down and ask yourself, what kind of world am I leaving behind for the future generation? Including any organization you're involved in. It doesn't have to be just Freemasonry alone. It's anything that you might be involved in. Whether it's your community, your family, your neighborhood, your job, any other religious community you might be involved in, whatever you're involved in, are they truly exemplifying the values of what you represent and what the organization's value represent? Or are you just there to BS around, have a good time, take some nice Facebook pictures, just have that complex that having a ring on or a license plate or a shirt makes you feel better about yourself, or having these acronyms next to your name, or anything like that where you think you're paying to be respected? And if once you're not in the game, they all have a cult mentality and they all put you on an ignore list. That's not how it works. And God will hold us accountable for all of these things. I know this, we're taught imperfection and just to focus on improving ourselves, and the world is imperfect and all that, but the concept of imperfection does not excuse us to lack basic decency when we're dealing with fellow human beings. So I hope this video that I made addresses those things and how we can exemplify those values of being true Masons and being good to everybody, because none of us are promised tomorrow. So be good to yourself, be good to others, because all this stuff and all these acronyms and whatever you did, it's all going to get left behind. The only thing that you're going to be asked is, what good did you do for yourself, your community, your brotherhood, your family, your children? That's it. That's your real wealth. Anything else doesn't mean anything. It's all semantics. So be the change. And if you see any past master or anybody in lodges that's acting out of the sort, or anybody online that is acting out of the sort, that's your duty as a brother to give good counsel to them and pull them on the side and tell them what they're doing does not represent the brotherhood. And whoever they berated or whoever they put down, make sure you tell that brother too that, I understand, etc., etc., and keep that encouragement and positivity going. Otherwise, all these higher ups know how to do is just put up recruitment campaigns, but not address the issues that need to be addressed about retention and how can we improve the world, and how can we be a hope and a beacon of light for these young people in America who are going what they're going through. And you got drugs, suicide, opioids, so much stuff that's going on. And what excuse do we really have of not being able to make a difference in those statistics? So I owe it to them. I do what I can. I make videos just using my iPhone and a pair of $10 headphones. And I encourage you all to spread this knowledge and teach others of who you are, what you represent, and make this world a better place. And I'm only one man, but I need all of you to stand by me and do this with me. All right? So I wish you all a great 2020 and the rest of this year. Represent what it means to be a true Freemason. All right? And just love everybody and enjoy life. Life is beautiful. But thanks again, and may God bless all of you and your families and all that you do and whatever you do. Thank you very much.